Many of us, while searching through the phone settings, find options we don't understand, and one of those things is RAM Plus. This feature is found on most new Samsung devices, and it comes under different names on devices like Xiaomi, Redmi, Oppo, Realme, and Vivo. The problem is that this feature comes enabled by default even if you haven't restored data or old settings. The question is this feature really useful, or can it harm your phone and battery in the long run? Follow along with me in this very important and critical video. What is RAM Plus? RAM Plus simply means that the phone uses part of the internal storage as additional virtual RAM. Physical RAM, the very fast chip that lets the phone open apps quickly and switch between them without lag. Virtual RAM, just a portion of the normal storage, like SSD, that the phone uses as if it were RAM. The idea is that you can keep more apps open in the background without them closing. The problem: on paper, the feature looks amazing, but the reality is different. Virtual RAM is much slower than physical RAM. No matter how fast the storage is, it will never reach RAM speed. So when the phone starts using RAM Plus, you'll feel performance getting slower instead of faster. Battery consumption: when the phone keeps reading and writing data constantly from storage, the battery is noticeably affected. It doesn't have to be huge consumption, but it's there. Storage lifespan: storage drives, SSD/UFS, have a limited number of write cycles. When the phone relies on RAM Plus, it increases that pressure, and thus the storage's lifespan may decrease. And here comes the important question: when is enabling this feature useful, and when is it harmful? When is it useful? RAM Plus is not always bad. In some cases, it can be a lifesaver. If your phone has low RAM capacity, 4 or 6 gigabytes, if you use heavy programs and open several apps at the same time, if you do a lot of multitasking, 2 screens open together, or games plus other apps, in this case, the phone can actually benefit from RAM Plus because it needs temporary extra space. When is it better to turn it off? If you have a modern flagship phone, or even some mid-range phones, devices like the S23 Ultra have 12 gigabytes RAM. You'll never reach its limit. Devices like the S23 or Plus have 8 gigabytes RAM, also more than enough for daily use and heavy gaming. In these cases, RAM Plus won't give you any real benefit. On the contrary, it might slow the performance and drain the battery. How to turn off RAM Plus? Open Settings. Select Battery and Device Care. Enter Memory. Scroll all the way down, and you'll find the RAM Plus option. Choose Off or reduce the size. Also note that if your device is weak, there's a better alternative than using this feature. Reduce the number of background processes running. I've already made a video explaining this in an easy and detailed way, and I'll leave you the link in the video description and the pinned comment. In the end, this feature was made to help weak devices, but modern phones don't need it. On the contrary, it can harm them more than benefit them. I hope I've given you useful information. I'm waiting for your continuous support as always. See you in the next video.